Hi, I'm Joe Chili. Mornings from 7 to 9 on Buffalo's oldie station, the Big Weck. Joining me on the Big Weck's Buffalo on the Rise today is Keyla Fisk, who is the Suicide Prevention Program Manager with the Veterans Administration. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And good for you to be here. You know, this is a difficult topic. You know, I think to talk about, when I looked at it and I said suicide, I'm like, but it's a very real concern, especially with veterans, right? And I would imagine that it spans decades. It might not just be, it could be Vietnam vets, it could be Afghanistan, it could be wherever it might be, right?
Yeah.
So what's the first step? What's the first step in the event people are watching today and they've had those thoughts? And as you and I talked about before we went on the air, it's natural for somebody at some point in time to think about something like this. What's their first step?
I think their first step is acknowledging that they're struggling and reaching out for help. And that can be any number of ways. It can be reaching out to your local crisis line. It can be reaching out to crisis services, calling 911. Just acknowledging that you're struggling and know that there are people who are available and who want to help you.
So what does your program actually do?
Sure. So the suicide prevention program at the VA is multifaceted. Our main goal is to reduce and eventually try to eliminate suicide. Our goal is to be there for people who are in crisis. So we're able to identify from a various number of factors people who are struggling. What we do is we follow them very closely. We offer them intensive crisis management. We ensure that they have appropriate follow-up. We're reaching out to their providers. We're at times reaching out to family members if they give us permission to do that, to make sure that their needs are being met and we are not allowing anybody to fall through the cracks. We do this in a multifaceted way. We have community engagement and partnership coordinators who work with the public to try to spread the word. We handle outreach events a lot of the time where we are just trying to demystify, destigmatize, and openly communicate about the risks that are inherent within not only the general population, but specifically the veteran population. They are a unique group of individuals. It is very much a niche organization, and our goal is to really be there to support them as much as we possibly can.
You know, Keyla, one of the things that I think it's hard for people to understand, and you know, I had a hard time with it too, except that I have friends that have gone through this. You go overseas or whatever, you're there for a couple of years in a combat situation or whatever. Then you come back home to your wife and family, and it's not a Hallmark moment. I mean, you know, you see some of these things where families get reunited, and sure, when the kids see dad again or mom again, they're all excited or whatever, but that's great for that moment. But getting reestablished in that family situation takes some work. Absolutely.
It's not as easy as flipping a switch where, you know, you're deployed and then you come home and everything is right back to normal. There is a process, an educational process for the veterans, for the families, but also an emotional process of realizing that you're not who you were before, you're not in the same place as you were before. And just because that is the case, it doesn't mean that there's something wrong. It's learning how to establish some new norms for yourself, but also looking at the resources that are available to you and to your family members to help you reestablish and reacclimate to being back in the civilian world.
Is this just for veterans? Is there ever a case where you deal with non-veterans?
Sure, absolutely. There are times when we have been notified of a veteran or somebody who might have served but doesn't necessarily have the veteran status who's struggling. That doesn't necessarily exclude them from care. We try to involve as many people as possible. We provide them with resources in the community, resources within the VA. We involve family members. We offer them support as well.
How can people get involved with the program?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can always reach out to us at any point in time. I know that my contact information will be displayed at some point. But we are always looking for more opportunities, more outreach events where we can reach out to the general public, but also to veterans who may not be involved in the VA for care, or other individuals who are looking to partner with us and spread the word. We love to do outreach events to really get that information out there.
And I hate to ask this question, what about families that have been affected by suicide?
Yeah. So we do know that unfortunately suicides do happen. Part of our program is to provide some postvention services. So there is a group of clinicians who get together. It is a multidisciplinary group where we look at who was involved with the veteran, who was involved with the veteran's family. What can we do to support them? What can we do to support these family members? Are we looking at providing resources in the community for them? Are we completing interviews with them after the event has occurred? We do try to remain involved as much as possible.
What about veterans that still have an interest when they come back in firearms?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
Yeah, so a lot of times veterans will ask us about, if I disclose that maybe I'm having some suicidal thoughts, does that mean that the VA is going to take away my firearms? The short answer is no. The VA does not have a stake in you having firearm access, and we support you having firearm access. What our goal is harm reduction, access and means reduction. So we will always provide you with gun locks for your firearms, because if you're struggling and you might have an uncomfortable thought or an intrusive thought that comes into your head, having an extra lock or an extra mechanism on your firearm might prevent you from doing something impulsive and harmful. So we really do focus on that. And it's not just firearms, it's also access to medications. If you are somebody who struggles with intrusive thoughts, maybe having a lockbox would be helpful, and we're happy to help you with that and get those for you.
Kayla, thank you. We really appreciate that. For more information about the VA of Western New York and their suicide prevention program, contact va.gov Western New York Healthcare or call 716-862-3124. Sponsorship and promotional consideration for the preceding segment was provided by VA of Western New York Healthcare. And don't forget to join me weekday mornings from 7 to 9 a.m. on The Big Weck.